Ahead.
With that second bye week being so close to the first one, I guess.
Yeah.
How much of a benefit did you see it being? And I guess from a play calling standpoint, offensive standpoint, are there any new things that you kind of add in there with that second?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's never. I don't know that I've ever been a part of 2 bye weeks, and it's refreshing. I think a little bit for sure. You get a chance to catch your breath a little bit. Probably did way more self-scouting during the first bye week because really we've just added 2 games, and but I think our season, the way it's gone, different quarterbacks early in the season, trying to figure out what's the best fit for him and our offense. I think that's helped us, and the last couple of weeks, I think we've done a better job of getting in that groove with Jacoby, and I think the bye week gives you a chance to catch your breath and do that, and just kind of self-assess and make sure that we're still doing those things as we move forward. Each week's different when the scheme's different, but at the same time you want to have some continuity for your players, and I think we've worked really hard at trying to keep that.
When you first started, the decision to make Jacoby was going to be the starting
Yeah.
quarterback. Can you talk about the baseline of where you had to start? I mean, was it a lot of video work early? Or
Yeah,
what was that baseline?
I think with just his late arrival, that was part of it. But I think I mentioned this, I think, a couple weeks ago, that I think what you saw was when he went from being the third guy to like all of a sudden I'm playing, and I think his sense of urgency increased. I don't know that we approached it any different because we were always trying to get those. Hey, you're one play away. We even talked to our next guys down the line at every position, and then it became reality for him. And I think you saw his sense of urgency where he really pushed and tried to dive into the nuances. He knew the plays, but all the nuances of the play. Hey, versus this coverage, what does it look like? This coverage, this pressure, and so forth. And what do we need to get to protection-wise? And I think you've just seen an increase, like I said, an increased sense of urgency with him, and testament to him and how he's tried to prepare each and every week.
Chip, Max said that Barlow is hurt again and out for this week, and that you guys are going to try to redshirt Caleb Hood.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, where does that leave you at running back? I guess that means Bullitt is your solid number 2. Is Charlton French your third guy now in that rotation?
Yeah, I think you'd have to say that. I mean, we want to get, we're trying to do the best thing for the players, each individual player, based on, it's a different world this day and age, and Caleb's fought some injuries in his career, and you'd love to him to really get an opportunity for a full season and be one of the guys and so forth. So if we can do that, I think that's a great opportunity. And then Barlow, poor guy, he's really worked hard, and he's got a skill set. And then, against Florida State, he goes down. So tough luck for him. But, we got a lot of confidence in Bullitt. Bullitt's done a really nice job on the times that he's played. And Charleston, French has done a good job too. He's going to be fine. He's just getting here. He got here late, but I like him. He's a great kid. He plays really hard and plays fast, and a little bit different dimension to the tailback position or the running back position. But yeah, I think probably that's where we'd be right now, and then hopefully we can salvage Caleb's year, and hopefully he'll get a chance to have a full year.
Would there be a fourth guy? I know Omarian carries the ball 30 times a game. I understand.
Yeah, most of the time he does. Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I think we'd be those 3 would probably be, and then we could. There's some guys we could probably bring up, from that help the defense out some. But yeah, really, I think those will be the 3 guys we really have to focus with.
Gotcha.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Caleb has 1 left that he can play.
He does.
He's played 3 games.
Yeah, so he's got 1 left, and then he's playing a bowl.
Yeah, so the bowl game doesn't count.
We have to have him.
Right.
We don't
Yeah.
do kind of what Mac was talking about.
If you
Just
play
give him
4
carries.
games with the ball, you can play 2 of the last 4.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
If one of them's ball.
Yes.
Chip, when you look at Wake Forest
Yeah.
and their defense, what stands out about them, and what have you seen of them?
I tell you, they're really well coached. They're where they're supposed to be all the time. You don't see a lot of busted assignments. I think I've heard a lot of great things about that coaching staff from Coach Brown, and not played these guys before, but they play really hard. They're very well coached. They make you earn it. And I think that's what sticks out to me is you're going to have to put plays together. Don't see just a ton of explosive plays over the top or long runs, and I think they're in position where they're supposed to be. And we've got to do a good job of trying to create some of those too. Sometimes we've not done a good job of creating those explosives like we should, and so But I think they're going to play extremely hard and very well coached, and they're an impressive group. I think really when you look at them, they do some things internally to cause you some problems, moving and doing some stuff like that. And again, I think it goes back to they know where their weaknesses are in their defense, and they do a good job of covering those things up.
If you were to look at the, can maybe itemize a few things, areas the offensive line has progressed since Minnesota, maybe 1, 2, 3, what would be those 3 things?
Yeah, I think number one would be just IDing the fronts and things the right way. I think when you have inexperienced tackles and a new center, you're trying to get that communication piece. So I think just IDing the front in the run game and the pass game was probably the number one thing that sticks out. Because with that, when you feel comfortable with that, then you play faster, you play more physical, you run off the ball better. And so I think early on there was probably a little bit, maybe some indecisiveness, which caused them not to play as fast as they can, and they're doing that now. So I think that's better. I think that group, I always believe that O-lines, they gel as a unit the more they play together. And because, the guy next to him is the same guy over and over and over. We had a little spell there where Aiden was out and we had a left guard we were playing, but, Willie's played most all year with Trey. Blasky's played most all year at center next to Willie, and Howard's been our left tackle most all year. So I think that builds that cohesive unit that you're looking for. And those guys, there's tons of communication in there that maybe the average fan doesn't know about. And it's not just, hey, we're running this play to the right, They've got to make sure they call the combos right and the protections the right way and who we're IDing as the mic and so forth. And then I just think that group's, the confidence would be the third thing. They have played better because they're more confident in what they're doing. They're more confident in themselves, I think, and I think that's what you see the last couple of weeks is they've played faster, more physical. And last week was that we challenged those guys as a unit because Florida State's got a really talented defensive front seven, and the challenge all week was we've played against a pretty good front in practice. Let's go answer that bell and try to be physical, and I think our guys did a nice job of that.
How are the first 2 things you mentioned kind of connected to the quarterback?
Yeah.
They have to be synced with the other
Yeah.
as well. How much did that maybe slow the progress, and how quickly have they gotten in sync?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think when you play multiple quarterbacks, that communication between the center and the quarterback's huge. And it's not like it takes a long time to say it or anything like that, but just understanding that we're in this look, so we want to make this call for the protection. Now they gave us a little different look that maybe the center can't see, so the quarterback gets it right because there's a safety down or whatever we're trying to do, and that goes back those guys knowing it, doing it over and over and over. I mean, obviously early on, Jacoby wasn't getting that work right. He was kind of observing, and I think the more he's become comfortable, the more confident Jacoby's become, then that unit has gelled with him, and that's what I'm hoping really is going to pay off the last few weeks.
And one more question.
Yeah.
The increase in Jacoby running the last few games, is that in concert with the offensive line being better and more comfortable, so you're kind of, he can make the yards that he needs to make because the line's been doing better?
I
Is there something?
there's been not as really a whole lot of design quarterback runs. I would say more about him understanding the coverage. They're in a man coverage and they don't have a guy for the quarterback, and him taking off after a drop or getting him on the perimeter on some of the seal stuff that we've done. I think it goes back to Jacoby having confidence in himself and what he's seeing, and that what he's seeing is accurate. And those guys, when they play with confidence, they feel like they know what's going on, the game slows down a little for them, and I think that's what you're seeing more than anything.
To go off of that, obviously Jacoby was here before, obviously in the backup role, and so some of the guys did know him from that. But
Right.
with the, early quarterback, shuffling and things
Yeah.
like that, I know we asked a lot about Jacoby's, comfort in the offense, but did you feel there was a point where the running backs, tight ends, receivers, got comfortable with him as the, kind of permanent QB1, as he, continued?
I don't know if there was a point. There's a couple things that stood out. Even the James Madison game, in the second half, we really had to throw it a whole bunch, which is not really what we want to do. But you saw, I think, him building that continuity. And then Georgia Tech, I think, was another one that stands out in my mind, especially in that fourth quarter. You just felt like, okay, they're gelling a little bit. There were some guys that broke routes off, and he was on time with them and so forth. And I just think for him, anytime you have that relationship with your wideouts and you keep growing that relationship just from going out and playing with them every day, I think it's that simple. And I think he's really, he stayed after with those guys and throwing some extra. And I think it's unique in the transfer world that he was already here. So there was some familiarity there for sure, but some of the guys he's playing with now weren't here. So a combination, though, of hard work with those two units, and then, again, I think it's a lot of confidence with him.
Chip, if you could take your coaching hat off for just a second and maybe just do it from a fan perspective or a college football appreciator perspective.
Yeah.
What Omarian did the other day in Tallahassee, the 5 touchdowns, 265 total yards, like,
Yeah.
what did you like the most? What caught your eye the most about all the different things that he did?
It's one of those games where we were determined we were going to run the ball and try to do a good job of staying on the field and having drives, and what a better guy to put it in the hands of, right, than Omarian. And the thing that sticks out to me is he's the same guy every day. I mean, there's no drama with him. He's not up and down. He barely said anything after the game when they tried to get him to give a speech. I don't know if y'all were told all about all that. So
Good job, O-line.
yeah, good job, O-line. It's all about all he said, I think. But he's just a very humble guy, and I think that's why he's so well respected. There's not a lot of ego, and he's a warrior. I mean, he's a guy that can handle the load. He wants it. He wants to play all the time. He's very unselfish. There is no, if he doesn't get the ball, there's no complaining. I mean, the guy does everything you ask him to do, and I think that's why he's going to be a great pro, because he can pass protect, he can catch the ball, and he's unselfish. And obviously his talent running the football is pretty good too.
Was the shovel pass like an exciting thing for you? I mean, is that designed to score on that?
Is that what?
Is that designed to score?
Well, every play is designed to score, right? So I ran that play all the way back in high school. I love that play. It's just a play that I thought was safe for the time, because, we had the lead, and, hey, if we hit this and get 15, 20 yards, we'll kick a field goal. That was kind of the thought, and then it's always nice when it goes to the end zone. So, yeah, it's good. But it was another deal we talked about with Jacoby, great confidence, and him playing more confident is that he didn't panic. They had a pressure coming from the field. He hung in there at the last minute, flipped it, and I wouldn't say he's always been that smooth doing that. I would think that's something he's worked into doing, and it's hard to stand back there knowing you're getting pressure and trust your guy. And Omarian is also a testament to the running back, because if they rush that play, then the twist and things, they don't happen. He goes too fast, and you don't know where the hole's going to be. So really good job by both those guys of executing. And then the guys blocking downfield, I think JJ and don't remember exactly who was in, but they did a nice job blocking downfield, and that's what it takes. Every play's designed to score, believe it or not. Even though sometimes my daughter says we just run up the middle every time, I tell there is a method to the madness. So, but yeah, I don't know. Who knows? If we don't make it on third down, she's on me too. So.
Chip, is there a challenge when you play a team like Wake Forest?
Yeah.
They are vulnerable through the air. And their defense is probably weaker in that aspect. For you, is there a challenge to not take that cheese and just stay with?
I think we have to play this to the strengths of our team for sure. Now, with that being said, I've seen them play a lot of 3 deep, a lot of soft coverage where they keep things in front of them, and so I think for us, we always have to know who we are, but at the same time, there are adjustments I think you have to make, and I think we're focused on trying to play to our strengths, and hopefully that fits well with who we're playing. There's always some little things you can tweak each week and every week. But, yeah, to answer your question, they're really not that temptation. We got to do what's good for our team, and we got to make sure we play to our strengths.
Chip, with Jacoby and his development,
Yep.
I mean, how exciting is it knowing that he has another year
Yeah.
left and that you will have that continuity that you guys didn't really have a quarterback at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm thinking about the next week right now, but I think that is nice. You always like a guy playing well that's got extra years, right, to play, and I think you always add to the mix in recruiting, and that's what you try to do is bring good players in so you can have great competition. But I think for him, getting some playing time, getting some experience is huge, and I think it will pay off for sure.
Jacoby told us in Tallahassee last game that he kind of looked over to see if Omarian saw what he saw about the way they were playing up front, to see that the shovel pass.
Oh, and the shovel, yeah.
And he just kind of looked over and he says, "Yeah, he's got it." So he knew the play before the snap was going to work.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know if that's true or not, but if he says that,
It was a good quote anyway.
you know what? I'm up in the box, so maybe that was good. It's a good story. No, I think like I mentioned before, on every play, there's different looks based on the defense. And I think he felt like, hey, that guy's not accounted for sure. We're not blocking him, so it's on me. And I think, you know, he probably felt like, you know, he hoped Omarian would see it the same way he did, and he did. But no, again, those two guys, great execution in the O-line too. I mean, and that's what it takes to score touchdowns, everybody executing. All right?
All right?
All right.
Thank you.